all sales woes amount from a lack of prospecting. I repeat, the sales problems you're going to have in your life as a DeFord Insurance Group, it's not from the sales training. I'm not saying my sales training is like, Midas touch. It's perfect. It's like it works, but there's other stuff that works too. It's not the lack of sales training, the lack of carriers. It's the lack of activity. It's the lack of inherent opportunity to realize that activity. Okay. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, this is especially directed to you if you're new or if you're struggling. I would say 90% of you probably, if you get in front of a client or a prospect, you probably won't do half bad. You probably do okay, probably close. You may not be the best, but you're not probably terrible. But your problem probably is, and this has been my experience training agents for years, your real problem is you're just not seeing enough people. This business, on some level, not completely, but on some level, is a numbers game. You have to have enough people every single week to talk to give yourself a real honest to God opportunity in this business. Otherwise, what tends to happen is that if you don't get the prospecting volume in, if you don't get the activity level in to work those leads, in other words, you just won't realize the full scope of what's possible in this business. For example, I started making good money selling final expense when I damned the torpedoes and just started doing as many appointments as humanly possible. I went from running 10 or 15 appointments a week, doing okay, to doing 25, 30, 40 even some weeks. And what I found is that enormous amount of activity protected me from bad weeks. It lifted my confidence because I didn't have to depend on every sale working out. So in a sense, I wasn't as desperate, and that was probably obvious to the client. Like, I'm just there to help you. I'm out of here, right? People are attracted to people who aren't like desperate for business, So I think all of this kind of is melded together and supports each other. Taking massive action really is the solution to having problems in the business. So if you're watching this on a recording sometime in the future right now, and you're not happy with your sales results, my recommendation first and foremost is, are you doing 15 appointments a week? 15 appointments a week is an arbitrary number, but I read it in a book from a sales trainer in life insurance space like 30, 40 years ago. He wrote the book. And it's been kind of a recurring thing I've seen in different capacities in this business and others, as far as the line of insurance sales we're talking about, final expense. 15 is kind of where things start to smooth out. 15 presentations completed each week. I find that agents who can do that on a consistent basis tend to have more predictable outcomes, less stress, less anxiety, and a happier experience. Think about it this way. If you're running 5 appointments, 6 appointments, 7 appointments a week, that's stressful. What if you do 5 of those in a day, 5 of those over the course of your first 3 or 4 days, and you don't get anything? That's a pretty stressful thing. What if you could do 5 of those in one day? Yeah, you have one bad day, not 4 bad days, right? And you're that much closer to a yes, because statistically speaking, when you hear no's, you're eventually going to hear a yes as you start to develop and understand your numbers. So doing more is really the solution. We got your back here when it comes to training you how to sell, what to say, how to say things, how to overcome objections, how to build urgency and need. What your job is to do, ladies and gentlemen, is to provide the requisite amount of activity and action in order to realize what's possible. Does that make sense? But really what you should be working towards as quickly as possible is 15 completed appointments a week. That really is for a full-time agent, really should always be your number one goal to work to as quickly as possible. So again, deriving from that, let's kind of answer some questions that many agents have. So like, how many leads do I need, Dave, then to do 15 appointments a week? Depends on the lead source, right? If I want 15 completed appointments a week, I need to have at least 30 direct mail leads minimum. Okay, 30 minimum. Probably a little bit more, 35 or 40. But 30 is like the bare minimum that I would have. Can you do it with less than that? Yeah, but remember what we talked about yesterday. What problem do you want to have? Do you want to have the good problems in life or the bad problems? Do you want to have the bad problems with not enough leads, more stress, more anxiety, more frustration? Or do you want the good problems have so many people to see you just can't keep up with it and you're stressed out with that? Well, I'd rather have that because at least you're making money stressed out as opposed to being broke and stressed out, right? So more leads is better. 30 a week is the minimum. If you're working 15 face-to-face appointments a week using face-to-face leads, I want closer to 50 Facebook leads. Facebook leads aren't as good quality in person as direct mail, but they're good. As evidence, we have agents writing business with them every week, like with happy agent leads. But you want to make sure that you make up for the lower quality with more volume. And that's kind of really the truth about leads is you can hit these numbers with any leads, but it's going to be a function of your time to call in combination with the quality of the lead. For telesales, most of you are working outbound leads. So make sure that you're buying, I would say 75 to 100 leads a week minimum when it comes to outbound final expense telesales to realize 15 plus talks on the phone, full conversations, and the opportunity to close a percentage of them.